Hi, this is Avara from Scrappy Mini, and today I'm going to show you a technique that I learned from Jennifer McGuire from Studio Calico January Kit. She had a video showing how to create chevron with pattern paper. So I'm going to create a chevron, and then I'm going to create a scrapbook using a layout. I'm going to create a layout using my chevron that I created earlier, and also using my feathers that I created in another episode. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to find papers that coordinates like you see here. So I got 5 sheets of paper, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut these paper in stripes of 1/2 inch in width. So you're going to take, this one is, so you're just going to cut it 1/2 inch for each of your papers. So 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut all my papers 1/2 inch, and then I'll be back. Okay, so once you got all your strips, so these are 1/2 inch strips of each of the colors, then I'm just going to arrange them I want it to place. So now I have like this a yellow orange color, then the stripes, and then the yellow color, and then my wood grain, and then my polka dot. So this is how I want it. Next thing you want to do is take a piece of paper, and I'm using thin sheet of paper. So I'm going to use a thin sheet of paper, and actually I'm recycling this paper. And I'm going to go ahead and start attaching my strips. And I'm going to start with one color, and I'm going to put them in a diagonal. And I'm going to try to get it. So let me bring the strips over here. I'm going to put my first strip in the middle, and then I'm going to use a glue stick. And this is an excellent technique that I'm showing you now to use all your scraps a piece of paper. You can even use your scraps regular paper that you use in your printer. It's great for that. So I'm going to put my first strip down, and then I'm going to put the next strip down. And you're going to keep doing this. And I don't want to leave any gaps, so I had a little gap there. That's a good thing about stick glue. You can move it, take it off, and then remove it. Okay, and then the next strip, and it helps if you kind of have them separate like I have it here, because then you just go from one to the next. Make sure you put it right against each other, leaving no gap between them. So I'm going to keep doing this, and then I'll be back with the next page. So I finished with my strip alternating, and this is what you get. And this is how it looks in the back. So now we're going to cut out the excess. So once you get all your strips, you're just going to take your ruler and you're just going to cut the excess out. The strips are hanging off your edge of your page.
And once you do that, then I'm going to show you how to do the second.
Now we're going to go ahead, take our other square, and we're going to create a chevron, another chevron. Now we're going to go ahead and start with this color in the middle, and then we'll go ahead and build from there. So you're going to start with the same color, and you're going to alternate. The middle part, the middle color will be the polka dot, and then your next color, and you alternate the same, keeping the same sequence that you have here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to cut it, and then I'll be back and we'll put it together. So now we created our paper, and this will even be nice like a layout like that, putting it against each other and creating a band. But the next thing we're going to do, once we have all this, remove aside the strips. There's a lot of other stuff that you can do with these strips. So once you have your chevron, then we're going to cut each of these half an inch, actually an inch. So we're going to cut each of these into 1 inch band.
As you cut the next 2 pages, keep each page separate, and it will come in handy in the next section because it will be easier to put the puzzle together to create your chevron.
Okay, so we got our strips. I'm going to use this bright yellow color. You're not going to see it underneath, but I'm going to use this bright yellow color, and I'm going to start creating my chevron. Okay, so I got my chevron. Now I'm going to start adhering my pieces down.
So now after I dry fit the chevron, I'm gluing everything down, and it's always best to take time to kind of get your puzzle together before you start gluing your pieces down.
Okay, so I'm finished putting my strip, and now the next thing I need to look at is I want to see a nice clean chevron pattern that I want to cut. And I think the best pattern that I can see is really from this piece and this piece down. So I'm going to create one piece here. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut. And the reason why these chevrons are not, they're not complete, and these are not complete, so I think it's best, maybe we can cut a little up here. So let's start cutting our shape. And then I have one piece, and then usually, depending on how I'm going to use it, if I'm going to use it like this, if I want to use it with the chevron, then I will cut again in here. But if not, if I want to use like a band, then what I usually do is, see how this piece didn't get completed, so I just put it on my paper and just cut it right there, and then I put another band of paper on top, and I'll do the same thing up here. And I'll cut it. And then I can put a band up here, another strip of paper here and here, and then use this like a band on my scrapbook. So now I'm going to clean everything up, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to create a layout using a pattern, a chevron. Okay, so we're going to create a layout, and I'm going to show you the chevron that I created earlier. This one here. So this is the chevron I created, so I'm going to use this for the bottom of my page, and then this is going to be, I'm going to cut this a little smaller.
So I'm just going to cut all my pieces down, and in a little second you're going to see me using a Stampin' Up! And I don't know how it's called, but it uses a pen, and then it uses air, and it puts a fine little mist on your page. And then I'm taking some black sud, and I put some glimmer mist also, those big droplets. And I use some black suds to put a nice black edge around my page. And now I'm just gluing all my little pieces together. And notice that the chevron underneath is not perfect, but you can hide it with embellishments. Um, so now I'm just going to put some more pictures down. And then here is the feathers that I showed in an earlier video how to create. So I'm going to be using 2 feathers on this layout. And then that's another fabric embellishment that I created, and I'm putting that on my page. So now I'm putting my title on my page, and I really love this technique using wax paper before you position your stickers. It really it's a very great technique that I learned from a fellow YouTuber. So now I'm just putting some stitch line. I'm almost done with this page. I just need to put my date and my title, and I'll be done.
So here's my layout. And these feathers, I have a tutorial how to create these feathers. And then here's my fabric embossing stamp on fabric. And this is a chevron that I showed you the technique for how to use that chevron. So here's my layout, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. And I always try, whenever I teach you a new technique like the chevron, the feather, and fabric embellishments, how to incorporate those embellishments into your layout. So I hope you like it, and thank you for watching. Bye now.